Well, I know there's some worries out there about North Korea because that's been in the news for maybe about a year. But I got some words on that I think when it's going to happen is, and if it's going to happen, I could tell you pretty much that it's predicated upon some other events first. That's what I think, because it's been like this for decades and decades. And this is my little buddy here, Putin the cat. I got another one coming. He's a real shy one. This guy was a shy one too, and I'm going to name him Caesar. That's what he's going to be called. This is going to be Putin. So we're going to have Putin and Caesar, global domination, and they're going to tell you everything that's going on in the world because they're going to be the elite cats, and we don't need any pastors. We got cats. Cats got senses. They got whiskers. They got ears. They got killer instincts. They know what's going on. So that's what's going to tell us what's going on instead of elite friends. We're going to be using cats. Right? Putin and Caesar. Global domination. Anyway. This is, I've been reading about North Korea too. But, I've read about North Korea for like umpteen years, man. I mean, I used to hear this stuff in the military, and especially, I just remember that stuff because I was like, I kind of like was friends with the intelligence, and they would tell me some things that was on the inside and all this kind of garbage, supposedly. But the inside doesn't even know, because I remember when the old man who was around for all those decades, Kim Il-sung, died. I don't even know these stupid names. Jung Sung, whatever, but the old man, the old guy that died, he died like in the 90s or something. They were sure that they were going to invade. Like I told this before, they were flying up M1 Abrams tanks at one at a time. You can only put one in a C-5 Galaxy cargo plane. That's all it fits, Like this big open plane, you got one tank in it, It's like either you put one tank in there or a whole other bunch of stuff. So they're flying those things up because they thought for sure it was going to happen, and it didn't happen. Now the other time it almost happened for sure. This is like, I'm thinking back when I was in the military too, but because I heard this a lot, was during Desert Storm, and you know how that was going. It was going to be the war to end all war. It was going to be the greatest war of mankind. Saddam Hussein was talking up all this stuff. And actually it could have been because, I'll interject something here, because actually if Colin Powell had his way, his plan was to do over-the-top World War I stuff, head-on frontal assault, but Schwarzkopf faked him out with a lot of strategy. Actually, part of the strategy that worked because the Iraqis thought, did I say Iranians? The Iraqis thought that the Marine Corps was going to do an amphibious invasion. They thought that was to be the main invasion, but that was a fake out. And you had the months-long bombardment. And see, at that time, Korea was talking, hey, we're going to strike, we're going to strike, we're going to strike. Why? Because they figured the United States would be tied up in a war with a major foe, and it was going to be bogging them down, and they couldn't respond. And that was always the problem, because the plan actually is not to fight a two-front war. And if you ask any, I'm not a general, and I don't want to speak for them, but if you ask any of them, they'll tell you, can you fight a two-front war? Yeah, sure. Maybe they can't, though, you know what I mean? I don't know how the hell, I'm not going to say what the hell they think, because I don't really know. And I don't know all this strategy stuff, The thing I know is the pop guns, But as far as, they would have done it if the United States was bogged down in Desert Storm, and it happened like it was a long, drawn out, prolonged war. But the ground war was actually for 4 days. They call it the 100-hour ground invasion. It was like a roll-up. The whole thing just, it was done. It was done that fast. So guess what happened with North Korea? They backed off. They backed off. So if you want to really put something out there, if that's gonna happen, and I'm not sure about Israel 100% striking Iran, but let's say they're not going to strike them in the next few months. That would be not conventional wisdom, because It's like once it gets up to early December, the weather isn't right or something. That's something with the weather. Then when the weather gets better again, it's like springtime to early summer. Now, say they strike Iran. What's going to happen is you're going to see the United States get involved. Now, that could be a hell of a lot more significant than Iraq. But then again, I don't know how that would even... Say it happened. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, it could all be talk, too. I don't know. But say it happened, right? You know, Israel doing a strike first might be better than the United States doing a strike first, too. If you know, in conjunction with Israel, because... I don't know what's going on with this Obama administration guy, because it's like he seems like he's weakening the American military, and it seems like anything that the U.S. does, you know, it gets leaked out to the other side. You know, I know there's people out there who accuse Obama of being in the hip pocket of the Jewish community and the Israeli lobby, but, you know, from what I see, it's the exact opposite. So if Israel did a first strike, it might actually turn out where, you know, Iran really gets knocked down on the ropes pretty fast, and it may be over with pretty fast. Now, say it wasn't, and there was this long protracted war starting, and the United States was involved, and then you would see North Korea attack South Korea. Then it would make a lot of sense. It's almost like, you know, we're playing cop on the block. I mean, some people are like, you know, they hate the United States sometimes, you know, anything you say. But, you know, it's almost like the U.S. is playing cop on the block. They're busy with something down the street, so one of the other guys is going to move. When the cops are all down the street, that's the best time to make the move over there, right? It's exactly what I mean, it's common sense 101. So, you know, I don't think something's going to happen in North Korea right away, despite all the talk. And I don't know if it's going to happen ever, because I think they get whacked. They get whacked pretty fast. And even if there was a long, protracted war in, you know, Iran, it's like, I don't, you know, I don't know what the hell would happen. I think there's a lot of U.S. Military available and a lot of stuff over there, and Japan could probably get involved too. But then again, who knows? Maybe China get involved. Yeah, it could turn out to be a big mess. So actually, once it starts, you never know. But I don't think it's going to start for. You see, I think it's got to be first predicated upon Israel striking Iran. Now, say they do that. You know, it's still up in the air. If they start adding the sanctions back on or something like that, I guess it's not going to happen, right? But say they do that, it's probably not going to happen until springtime of 2014. And if it happens where Iran actually unexpectedly rolls over really fast, you know, they say, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of controversy during the time when they had the war in Iraq too, with Saddam Hussein. You know, nobody expected it to be over that fast, but who the hell knows what can happen? Nobody knows, man. It's a roll of the dice. But if it turns out to be a long, protracted war, and the United States is involved, yeah, North Korea probably, very likely then, would strike into South Korea. Not cool news, but, you know, I'm just putting it out into common sense ways that's exactly how it's going to play out, because they would have struck South Korea before when the United States was going up against Saddam Hussein, except the war was over so freaking fast. It was like, oh, wait a minute, we ain't going to do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, that's the reality of it, all right? So, that's, and say it does, and there's all this catastrophe happen. You know, I know what's going to happen on the internet, because I don't play this game. I notice these people put out all this bullshit, and they get a lot more views by scaring the crap out of people and dramatizing things about various, the end is near, drama, fear. I don't put that kind of stuff out because I think it's very counterproductive. And like I said, you're going to continue to see a lot of videos from me on how to do stuff that's practical, and health. And even if you're interested in, you know, survival, I've had a lot of videos out there. As a matter of fact, I'll post some of them on the links below in the info box on this about, you know, food and things like that. You know, people are like worried about stuff. It's not stupid to do. I mean, you know, you only may use it once every 30 years, but that time you need it, it's like you really do need it, right? So it's not stupid, you know, but just chill out. Just chill out. There's been a lot of worse problems before, so, you know, I ain't playing the fear-mongering. I don't like these guys on the internet that play that garbage, you know? It's fear for change, fear for money, you know? That's what the hell it is. Alex Jones, you know? This is it, folks. Get the hell out of here. I don't like that guy.